Hello guys and welcome to Minecraft. This is Flandyn and I'm doing a tutorial on adders. I'm starting a series for making computers and computers components, and this episode will be about adders. Adders is the most important part in Minecraft Computer Redstone. So right now I'm making a simple XOR gate, very basic one. Which is very good for adders. After a while I'm going to show you 2 white adders. Yeah, so now we have our XOR gate. I'm just going to demonstrate how the XOR gate works. I'm just going to fix my mouse and place the inputs. So here's the input. When one input is on, the output is on. When both inputs are on, then the output is off. So basically they work like it's 2 levers that is unaffected by each other, and they still work. So this one will always change the output, and this one will always change the output. That's an easy memorize for those. So now we want to add our AND gates to create a half adder. So basically to find an AND gate on this, you need to find something that turns off or on when both inputs are on. So right now I know that in this XOR gate you can find it right here. So let's just drag this inputs. Narwhals, please leave. Recording. Yeah, so as you can see, this one will always be on when both inputs are on. So now we got our half adder. You will see it afterwards. So moving on. For a fully adder, you can guess we need 2 full half adders to make 1 full adders. That's pretty similar rule to remember. So I'm going to change this XOR a bit for the sake of thingy, for the fully adder. Sorry. So I'm dragging this wiring so far. So now we could just start on our next XOR gates. So I'm going to do that. There's a number of ways how to do this. I prefer this one on the 3 wide one. I'm using a couple of 2 wide one to do other. Okay, so as you can see, we have this one here. I can just turn it around and grab it on this side. And there we go. That's the carry out. The carry out is the carry in for the next bit. So you may wonder, where's the carry in here? Well, the carry in is the other input for the XOR gate. So this one is the carry in. Yeah. So let me just make a nice input for it, so it looks like it could be stacked like that. I'm just going to place my lever here for now, and I could drag this wiring out right now, which I'm going to. So on the next one, the next XOR gate here would be right here and here, and this is the carry in for the next bit. The difference between this output and this output is that this one has the value 2, while this one has the value 1. So when one input are on, this output will always be off. No, on, sorry. I'm making that mistake all the time. Moving on. If 2 inputs are on, let's do this one carry in and A1, then this one will always be off, because the one with the value 2 will always be on. If all three is on, you could guess it's the carry out will be on, and this one. That will be 2 plus 1, and that's 3. So let's just show you that. The reason how that works is that when both of these are on, this one will turn off. When this one will turn off, it will only be the carry in that's the on this XOR gate, which will turn this one on. At the same time, these two will turn the carry in on. And how the other thing work, like when one input here is on and this one is on, it's basically when these two are on, this one will be off, and that's why it will turn off these two, which will turn off this one. A very simple thing, and this is a 1-bit adder for those who didn't understood my tutorial. And now I want to move on how to do this 2 wide, because that's a very nifty thing people should learn. So I prepared 2 wide XOR gate for this thing. I'm using my very own. So this is the first input, and it goes in, and this is a piston one, so this one will work bad with things like like double level, multiplier, divider, and stuff like that. Though it will work very good with other things like adding, subtraction, simple things. And while we're on it, let me just speak a bit about what I'm building. What do we need adders for? Adders is used in so many things. They are used in everything from double level, which is a binary decoder that is smaller. You can see the magenta thing there. That's double level. It's basically an 10-bit binary decoder, which is incredibly small. Yeah, and with that you don't need to have any screen decoders. You can have just that is the simple screen decoder. It's behind every display. It's very nifty design. I'm going to show you it in later episodes. The other thing you can make it of it is a multiplier, divider. It's possible to do sine, cos, and tangents. But let's move. We're talking away now. This is our XOR gates. I think that's very good with this one. It's incredibly good for ALUs. ALU is another thing you can make. It stands for Arithmetic Logic Unit, and it's used for calculating in CPUs. So as you can see in this one, I've already prepared the AND gates. When both of these are turned on, this one just turns off, which is very good. Yeah, and it isn't turned, it's always turned off when only 2 of the bits are turned on. So let me drag this wiring out too, I guess. I could do like this actually. And here's our AND gates. Then we can start on the second one. This is pretty hard because I'm going to change it slightly. So if I'm making it like this, it should work good. Basically I'm moving this part here beneath, like here, and placing some redstone there instead of a torch. That works just the same. It's just a bit simpler to do it this way, and it becomes a bit more stackable too. So I will do one more thing here, but on this time I'm going to change it to just torch. So I need to invert that one before. That's a rule I need to remember now. Moving on to the piston part, and this is a very, I would call it a very good. So as you can see, both inputs are on now, and that's no, it thinks both of them are on, so this one will still be on. I'm just going to change it a bit. This one is not going to be like this. It's going to be like, as you see, carry in is always going to the right. Or actually, that's wrong. Carry in can go in both ways actually, but this one is called reverse binary. That's a memorized for you both. You could do it the other way, which is the correct binary, but I prefer to do the reverse binary because the numbers, like this will be 1 1 2 2. In correct binary it will be like, say you have 4 bits, then it will be like 8 8. Is that correct? I think it is 8 8 4. No, that's wrong. 16 16 8 8 4 4 2 2 1 1, which is a bit harder. So I like this, to have it like this. It's easier to calculate with the binary then. But that's taste, and you don't need to do it the same as me, but I recommend it, though it's not the correct way. So here's our carry out, and here's our carry in. I'm just placing at the right here. Actually, I'm doing it the correct way, because that's the good things to do. Making it like this, and keep going on the other side. It's very hard to do two wide things, so don't get like, don't do it just because you think you can, because it will take not years but like weeks of practicing to make things too wide and smaller. And as you can see here, it worked very fine actually, using 2 repeaters here, which is going to make it a bit big. You can just think of how to make things smaller. Like I can make this 2 ticks faster just by doing this. It works just the same, it's just 1 taller, which most persons don't care of, but I kind of do. Faster things is always better in every way. And yeah, here is the 2 wide adder, block for block tutorial. This one, like, you need to think of things. In Alias, this one is like very good, because you can make an AND signal just by doing stuff like this, and there you got an AND function. If you also cut down the carry, let me just show you how to do a small ALU. This is also a small ALU, I'm just showing it, it wasn't planned. So right there, I mean right here, this is now an XOR gate. It basically turns off the carry out, and when you remove the AND gates, you have just XOR gate left, and XOR gate left makes the XOR gate function. Very simple. When it's an XOR gate, you could simply make it to an AND gate by doing this, and with a couple of NOT gates, invert gates in front of A and in front of B, and on the outputs. To make a NOT gate, you basically have an XOR gate on the end too, and with that you could have a very good ALU with most of the logic gates, adding and subtraction. I'm going to go further in a later episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe, comment what you want to do of the Computer Redstone, and I will consider it. Thank you for watching. This was Flandyn, and bye.